Hey guys, welcome to a new video. My name is Amber and I am a mixed media artist, always experimenting with new things, and that is exactly what I'll be doing today. So this is my art journal that I made all by myself. I'm so proud of it. And I thought I'd fill a page in here today on black paper. Where are we? So I'll show you all that in a moment, what I've been up to. But yeah, I've got this black paper page in here. And I'm really interested to see how the Gansai watercolours work on it, because they're quite opaque like gouache. So I've got my colour palette ready. So if you are new here on my channel, I'll just unplug that a moment. Yeah, if you're new here on my channel, or you're new with me in general, I host a art challenge on Instagram every month, and this month I've done it a little bit differently, where I have 4 themes for the month, and each week then I share 4 different colour palettes. So last week's theme was Fruit Fiesta, and we had 4 different colour palettes to go with the theme Fruit Fiesta. If you want to go back and play with any of these palettes, you're more than welcome to. They're just on my Instagram, so I'll link that below if you want to go and check them out. And then this week the theme is Ice Cream Dreams. So I've got 4 different colour palettes for Ice Cream Dreams. I've done this one. This is my first one for the week, and I'm not necessarily going for like an ice cream theme. I am just using the colours to create my artwork. So this is the palette. If we can see it without my ring light, I'll probably pop it on the screen actually, because I think it'll be easier for you to see it with my artwork. So yeah, this is the art that I made for that. I'm really into collage and stamping and just everything, to be honest, at the moment. But my favourite thing at the minute is the Gansai watercolours, and I have a few different sets of those, which I will also show you. I've got some of the sets from Choosing Keeping here. I've been playing with these watercolours non-stop the last few days, so they're just everywhere. But yeah, I've got some from Choosing Keeping, and then I've also got the Art Nouveau set from, what is this one? Kuretake Gansai Tambi Art Nouveau set. So I love that, and I love all of these lovely little boxes from Choosing Keeping as well. So the Choosing Keeping ones are not actually Kuretake, the brand Kuretake. These ones are from a brand called, I think it's called Kisho or Kisho. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, they are a little bit different, but they're exactly the same. Basically, they work exactly the same, they feel exactly the same, they probably are exactly the same, just a different brand. So and Choosing Keeping is a lovely little stationery and art shop in London. If you are curious about it, stay curious. See, I wrote that on there. But yeah, so I've just been experimenting. I've got craft paper in this book, and I've been playing with that. So this one I done in my last video, and I think it was my last video, and you can go and watch that if you like. So I showed you like the whole process of the painting, and then the dots and the stencils and all the collage and everything. So but yeah, all I've really done in this is the craft paper and the watercolour paper that I've got in here. So the Cardi watercolour paper. I've also done one on the Strathmore toned grey mixed media paper. I played with that as well. I've got a burlap paper in here, and I've just stuck some photos to that for now. I can take them off and I might collage them in, but this is just pictures of me and my husband. But yeah, I really fancy today trying out the black paper, and I thought, why not just press record and let's see what happens together. So am I meaning to say anything else? I don't think so. If you have any questions or anything, just ask, because I'm not really used to talking and recording all at the same time. I usually do voiceovers, and I know that I will probably forget everything that I want to say. So I'm not even sure what I'm going to be using in this video. All I know is I've got some watercolour pans here. Oh, and the palette I'll be using, that would help, wouldn't it? The palette I'll be using today is this one. So I'm really excited to do it. And the ice cream cone in this one is black, so that's why I thought, oh, it would probably be fun to do it on black paper. And then I've already got the black colour on here, and all I have to do is add these. So to save time, I already picked my colours out today rather than going through all my boxes and picking the colours out. But if you liked to see that and like my thought process on picking the colours, then just say in the comments and I can perhaps do that next time. So I've got this brush. This is one of my favourites at the minute. It's from Jackson's Art, and it's the synthetic Raven mop brush, and I love the name for one thing. I love the look of the brush, and I just think it's a really cool little brush. So I've got my water. I'll pop that right there. I want you to kind of see everything I'm doing. I'll get these pans out of the way. These were the ones I was playing with today with that other painting for this week's colour palettes. I love working with a colour palette. I can't even explain to you how much I love working with a colour palette. Since I've been using palettes I've made myself, or with the Colour Cube by Sarah Renee Clark, I love using the palettes out of there. I've done so much more art. It's ridiculous. I've been filling my sketchbooks and just experimenting so much with colour. I just think it's absolutely fabulous. So, black paper. I love the deckled edges too. I deckled all the edges myself in here, apart from the Cardi watercolour paper. That already comes deckled, so that's quite handy. Right, so I might do a bit like blobby, like an ice cream theme. I'm just going to go straight on with the colour that I think. So this green colour is the pea green from the Art Nouveau set, and also I think I've got... Oh, I'm being phoned now. 1 second. People never ring me and then I get a call when I start recording. Okay, phone call over. So I'm going to get started. I don't even know what I was saying before then. So yeah, this green colour is pea green. I think it's from, yes, pea green 501 from the Art Nouveau set. And then I've also got this lovely little pink. I can't really tip them up because... pale pink, because they've got water in them. I've already wet them. So these paints do take a little while to activate, like to get really creamy and lovely. So you do want to put a nice bit of water in them and leave them for a minute or two before you start painting. And this one, Potter's Pink, is also from the Art Nouveau set. And in this green colour, I don't know the name because the ones from Choosing Keeping are just numbered. And this one is from one of those sets, but I'm not exactly sure which one. So... I don't know how this is going to go on this paper, but, oh, better than I expected already. I wonder how it's going to dry. I wonder if it's going to dry super opaque, or if it's going to dry a lot more transparent than I think. I'm not sure. So, I'm just going to put lots of paint on the paper. I'm not going for an ice cream theme, really. I'm just going to blob paint down and see what happens, I suppose. I could go for the ice cream theme. Whoops. A lot of people who have been joining in with the challenge on Instagram have been going for like last week was Fruit Fiesta. Instead of actually following the colour palettes, they've been drawing like fruit paintings and drawings as well. So that's also fine. Like, I love and my biggest goal really with my Instagram and this YouTube channel is just to sort of inspire you to be creative. I just think everybody should be creative and create art or anything really, and if I can inspire you, then that's ideal for me. And yeah, that's why I love hosting these challenges every month, because I love seeing what everybody creates. I think this is awesome, actually. This might be already one of my new favourite things, but we'll see how it dries first. Watercolour on black paper. And at this stage, I really try to not be bothered about anything. So, like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, oh God, what even is this? What is this going to be? You know, as you will know if you do art that you question yourself all the time. You think everything you do is crap, and that is me. And by doing all the mixed media and adding loads and loads of layers on top of each other and just experimenting with different materials and different art supplies, I'm learning that you can fix everything for one thing. You don't have to, nothing has to be perfect. It's literally about the process. And I wish I knew that sooner. You know, I used to be so uptight when it come to art, and I used to chuck loads away, throw loads away, and now I think, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, because I could have used it as collage collage materials, which now everything I'm using as like collage materials. I've got this little tin here, just a little pencil tin that's full of all little bits of material, little bits out of magazines, stickers, tea bags. I'm collecting all sorts of collage stuff and ephemera, apparently it's called. That's a really cool word, right? Ephemera. Book pages. Yeah, I'm just collecting all sorts. And now I wish I wouldn't have thrown all my old like art away. Not that I threw loads of it away, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is I used to hate everything I did and I couldn't look at it. So now I'm so glad I'm over that stage of my art life, because it's quite miserable actually. It's miserable hating everything you do and thinking, why do I even bother doing art? But I don't think like that anymore. And I hope that that attitude can help you to not think like that anymore. So I'm really quite liking this actually. I'm loving the colour palette. I don't want to cover all the black up because, well, the black is in the colour palette. So I'm going to wait now and I'm going to see how this dries, or perhaps I might do a few little splashes. Let's try that. Something I've been wanting to try, so this is going to be a day of experiments, is the toothbrush, you know, to go like this and to do little splashes everywhere. And I'm not sure which colour to use for the splashes. I might use I might actually use some white acrylic ink, because that is one of my favourite things ever. I used the white acrylic ink on here, and then I love to do like dots in it, or if I use the darker acrylic inks, I love to do dots in it, and that always gives me a starting place. So I don't know if that's a piece of burlap or a piece of my dog's hair, probably my dog's hair, because it gets absolutely everywhere. So I'm gonna do, so like my current process is some watercolour, some acrylic ink, and then I let it all dry, and then I go on top with, oh, very exciting this is. I go on top then with like collage and stamps and stencils and all sorts of stuff. So that's what I'll be doing today. And I'll probably voice over this part of it, and then, nope, that's the opposite. I'll probably talk through this part of it, and then once I'm letting it all dry, I will do a voiceover, because the next stage takes a little bit longer, and I think you might get bored with a 2-hour long video, because my art, depending on how detailed I want to go with all the little bits at the end, it can take a while to do, and I don't think you'd enjoy a probably 2-hour long video. So I'm really happy with how this is looking. I'm going to zoom in so you can see just how cool the acrylic ink looks, and then when it dries on the white paper anyways, it looks even cooler. So I said in my last video, I really enjoy when my art looks kind of like an alien invasion. So I love like how this acrylic ink here is dispersing out into the watercolor paint, and it just looks kind of like alien-y and creaturey, and I really like that. So that's the look I go for, I suppose, at the moment. I'm just gonna give this a little push actually, because it's actually dried. The watercolour is drying really quickly on the black paper. I might even add a little bit more paint. Oh, okay. let's just go for it. I feel like it might be a bit too minimal for me at the moment. So let's just go for it and add more and more and more, and let's let that acrylic ink just go where it wants to go. I used to have a lot of control in my art, so I started off being a pet portrait artist with coloured pencils, so I was doing just realistic art all of the time, and I can't tell you how miserable that made me in the end. So much so that I don't actually do the realistic, super realistic pet portraits anymore, although I did recently just take on a commission, which I didn't think I'd do anymore, but I just thought I'm going to try and give it a go and use a bit more of a flowy watercolour style and see how it goes. It is nice to do commissions. It's someone from like someone local to me, and my dog's barking now. Every video, I'm telling you, Nacho barks. Yeah, the commission is for someone from my local community, and people recommended me, and it's nice, isn't it? A little bit extra money as well, and I am really grateful to people who do want to have my art. So I'm going to do it, and I'll let you know how it goes, because in a few of my videos I think I've said I'll never do commissions ever again and blah blah blah, but you know, things change, right? I change anyways. I don't know what I'm doing from one day to the other. I usually change my mind. I love this. I think this is really really cool. So I might add another different color of acrylic ink before this dries. So I've got Nacho. I've got this lovely, it's olive green, so I'm just going to throw a bit of this in here. You've got to shake the acrylic inks up really really well, especially after they've been sat on the shelf in Hobbycraft for however long. I'm just going to add a bit more green in areas and let it dry and see what happens. I do apologise about my dog, the little gremlin. Okay, loving this. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to go, and I'm going to be back in a minute. Okay, so I actually made a bit of a mistake here, and I forgot to press record when I went back in to add all the extra bits to my painting. So I'm really sorry. I've already started with the stamps and some little black dots on my painting. I'm so disappointed in myself. This was last night, and I got all sat down in my studio. I got a nice hot drink. I put some Netflix on, and I just got totally carried away with myself. And then after I'd already added the dots and some white stamping, I was like, oh no, I forgot to press record on the camera. So at least I didn't already do like all the collage bits and stuff. So that's what I'm showing you here. Is I picked out a few collage bits that matched my colour palette and my theme, and yeah, I'm just gluing them all on my page with a glue stick. So I do apologise, and I'll try and do better for my next video. Oh dear. The good news is the paint dried so lovely on the black paper. It stayed really opaque. It didn't dull down at all. It just dried absolutely perfect. So I'm really pleased with that, and I can't wait to play with black paper a little bit more actually. So I wrote it in text on the first part of this video, but the actual paper is the Clairefontaine Paint On multi-techniques mixed media paper, and I didn't even gesso it, and it just worked perfectly with the watercolor, the acrylic inks. The paint didn't like go through to the other side or anything like that, and yeah, not even to have to gesso it. That's awesome. So I'll definitely be using this a lot more, especially with these paints. And it just handled things really nicely. It handled the stamping really nicely, all the collage, all the glue I stuck on the back of everything. So really good, and I am not disappointed with this at all. And probably when I make myself another one of these art journals, I shall put a lot more black paper in there, because it's probably one of my new favourite things to work on. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about my collage materials for a second. Over the past few weeks, I've built up a really lovely little collection of collage stuff. So everything from little ephemera bits to these papers like I've got here in my hand. And you can buy like the paper pads out of Hobbycraft or any hobby store, or on Amazon or online, anywhere really. And I just cut all the little, what do you even call these? Not little flowers, it's like little dandelions, right? Fairies. I call them fairies, I suppose. Yeah, I cut all the little fairies out of that paper, and I thought, I don't know, I just felt like this painting was giving me like a little springtime vibe almost. Like it's quite flowery. Yeah, so I thought it would be nice to sort of stick all these on, like they're all flying away into the springtime energy. And yeah, I picked a few other collage, like flowery botanical elements to pop on here, and yeah, I think it looks really, really cute in the end. But my collage stash, I have got a few bits from Vinted. So if you go on Vinted and type in ephemera or like scrapbook materials, collage materials, all sorts of things come up. And some people do like proper bundles on there. You can buy one of these bundles for really cheap, and you've got all sorts of cool little collage bits to play with. I've also got like a whale, ocean and space theme pack on Amazon, which has got hundreds and hundreds of little pieces of paper and stickers and washi stickers and all sorts, which you can use, and that's a lot of fun. And then I went into a shop in Brighton a few weeks ago, and they had collage packs in there, and it's just got the most cool vintage pieces of paper and stamps and maps and just all sorts of really good stuff in these packs. So obviously I went a little bit overboard, but now I've got this really cool little collage collection that I can go through all my little stash and pick bits out that match my colour palettes, and it's just a lot of fun. I absolutely love it. It also helps that my mum used to be really into card making, so she has got so many of the paper pads and stuff, which I have had all of them off of her. And so yeah, I just feel like I've got like a everlasting supply of collage things now, and it's just so much fun. It's actually like, I never thought I would enjoy doing collage as much as I do. There's something about the sticking and the cutting, and it's very childlike and just very playful, and it just adds this extra element onto your art, and I absolutely love it. Do you enjoy collaging? Like, have you even tried it? If you haven't tried it, I'd highly recommend it. It really is just so fun. Lots of fun. And you don't even have to buy stuff for collage materials. I've started poking in my little stash like tags off of clothes and things, because you can always paint over stuff. So if you've got a tag and it's got a load of writing on it, you could still use that. You could just paint over it and make something really fun with it. And I have been cutting up like paper bags that I've received from things, and receipts and all sorts, book pages, magazine pages. It just feels like the possibilities are endless with it. And now, instead of just throwing things away like I would have done before, I'm now like looking at things and thinking, oh, I'll use that in the collage, and I'll pack that away in my little stash. And it just feels like a really fun way to recycle things and reuse things as well. So loads and loads of fun. But obviously you also get addicted to things. Well, if you get addicted to things like me, and then you want to buy all of the stuff as well, that's also fine. I'm a real enabler to myself, unfortunately, but that's okay because art supplies make me happy. I suppose also collage could be a little bit annoying because cutting all these little bits out and sticking them in, and then you think, oh no, this part's in the wrong place, but you've already glued it in and you don't really want to rip it back up again. And but that's all part of the process, I suppose, isn't it? All part of the process of creating art and just learning, learning what you like and what you don't like. And I'm always learning with every single page in these sketchbooks and my journals at the moment. I am learning all of the time. And that is my most important thing with my art. And I decided to add in a little bit of a different element into this one. I haven't added any washi on these pages yet. So I got this little black washi tape, and I thought because my colour palette had the black in it, it might be nice to add something else with a bit of texture, something else a little bit different. So I really love how this looks. It was just to stick down the string on that tag because that was going to annoy me being everywhere. So, and I wanted to add a little pop of bright colour into this piece, so I've got my pink Posca pen, just adding a few dots in. I think dots are probably my favourite element of anything lately. I just love adding dots. I bet I could sit there for hours and just do dots. I don't know what that says about me, but it's just nice and enjoyable, So I have this little fish, and I'm just going through all of my collage bits now to see what other elements I might like to add. And I love it. I love to just get all the little bits out and put them in place and, just see what looks good together. It's a really good lesson on composition as well, because I feel like it's very, very intuitive, the composition of a piece. And if you're an artist watching this video, then you will know that it's a very intuitive thing. And I love to just try things out until you get something that looks right. And I don't know, I feel like I'm absolutely rambling now, but I wish I could put into words just how I feel about art, really. I struggle to put things into words anyways, and I don't know, it just makes me feel amazing doing this, making these videos, voicing over, talking about everything. It just makes me feel really good and really excited, and I wish I could put my words into words a little bit better. So at the end here, the only thing that I thought was missing was a bit of sparkle. I usually use a lot of gold in my abstracts lately, and I didn't add any gold onto this, but I've got these glitter pens in all different colours, so obviously I added some more dots in this green glitter pen, and it just finished the piece off perfectly. That's another thing with art, isn't it? Is when does it end? How do you know when a piece is finished? And that's another really intuitive thing as well. So you just know in the end, I feel like, or if you don't know, perhaps you'll leave it for a few days and come back to it, and then you'll know. And it's just so amazing. Sometimes I could actually cry talking about it. I did cry once. I was telling my husband and showing him how my watercolours granulated, and I actually started crying because I just loved it so much. My granulating watercolours. It's just so funny. So to finish this painting up, I thought I'd just see if I could reactivate this bit of dried gouache in my palette there to add some splatters to my painting, and it actually worked really well. It just took a little bit of waking up. So I used the toothbrush, and I think the toothbrush method is the best method to make stars or splatter or anything. It worked really, really well. So this is my finished page, and I really hope you like it. I absolutely love it. I think the colour palette is great, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I forgot to press record on the most important part, probably. I'll do better next time, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you don't mind the ramblings of a mad woman, a mad artist. But I just love to share this with you. So if you've enjoyed this and you want to see more like this from me, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also leave me a comment. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.